Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in again to another episode of CivilianTacticalWeapons.com. Today's episode is going to cover these new KCI magazines you're seeing pop up at all the gun stores, gun shows. What I want to do is, since the Glock 17 is probably the most common handgun that anyone owns, I want to actually cover the differences between the Glock mag and the KCI mag. So before I go into that, just want to make sure a reminder, since this is pretty much the last week before Christmas, the calendars, I have the calendars going on sale for two for $35 at CivilianTacticalWeapons.com. You can actually find the calendar on there if you click the 2011 calendar info link in the upper right corner of the webpage, and we've actually got all the calendars up there. If you order them, out on Monday, I'm going to deliver. I'm actually going to go ahead and mail them all out. They go out priority mail 3 days, so you should get them in time before Christmas. So if you order them on Monday, so I want to make sure you're aware of that. Now back to these magazines. The KCI magazine and the Glock magazine are very similar in design. The back of the follower sits differently though. So on the Glock magazine, the little metal component here, which actually it sits a little bit higher on the lip, pretty much covers up more of the follower in the rear, whereas the KCI magazine, which comes from South Korea, cuts down lower in the back. If you look on the front of the magazines, the Glock magazine actually sits, the follower here sits lower than the KCI, which actually sits higher. So it's almost like it's angled up, the follower inside the magazine, so the spring's pushing the follower front up a little bit. How does that affect performance? I was shooting a bunch of rounds today through it. I didn't see a problem with it. I haven't shot, thousands of rounds like I have through Glock magazines, but from the limited testing I was doing, I didn't see any failures, ejection problems, any form of weird feed issues with using these magazines. So I was going to go ahead, my whole idea was to actually plan to do more testing on it to see how this would further behave, until I ran into one critical flaw on the KCI magazines, which have pretty much ended all of my further testing of it, because it's a showstopper for me. So here is a Glock 17 magazine. When your gun goes back, your slide locks all the way back. These are empty magazines. So gun goes back, you're locked back like this. What you want to do, and what you need to make sure you train to do, is you hit the magazine and you let the magazine just fall to the ground. Don't get in the habit of shooting like this, emptying out the magazine and catching your magazine, putting it in your pocket, putting it on the table. If you get into that habit, you shoot how you train. In the event that you're actually doing some, your home defense, whatever the case may be, maybe you're in law enforcement, if you're in this type of habit and your gun goes dry, you will get in the habit of catching your magazine and putting them in your pockets to then get your second magazine. You are wasting time, and that time is probably going to kill you. So you have to be training that you let these magazines just drop to the ground, hit the concrete, the floor, whatever. Don't worry about it. Magazines can handle it. If your magazine can't handle it, you really need to make sure you're getting factory mags, because I've never seen a factory mag not able to handle it. I did break an H&K one after dropping it on the concrete about 100 times. Eventually snapped the bottom of the magazine, but hey, I mean, that stuff, stuff happens. Putting it a little more eloquently than what I want to say. Here's the KCI magazine from South Korea. You can get this 9mm 17-shot Glock magazines for $10. At least that's why I got it for the gun show. This is the scary part about it, is they are very, very tempting for someone to pick. So, gun goes dry. I hit the mag release. Nothing. So let's shake the gun up, which you should never actually do. I'm shaking this gun up. The magazine button's held down. I'm shaking the gun. That mag is not coming out the bottom. I've got to push the magazine release and then rip the magazine out the bottom of the gun. See? It will not come out. There's my Glock mag. It drops completely free. This mag will not drop. Because the mag will not drop free, that's the end of testing on the KCI magazines for me. I cannot and will not accept any magazine that will not drop free out of a gun. That's a design failure. It's a critical design failure, and a failure that, if you're in law enforcement or whatever, that failure will kill you. If you're going to end up losing, a half a second or up to a second of your reload time because the magazine's not going to fall free, that's a magazine that no one has any business buying. So regardless of if I can make it jam up, or what type of ammo I put through it, or how fast I shoot it, or all that other good stuff, the Glock magazines have never had any problem for me at all. And I'm not going to bet my life to save 10 bucks, 20 bucks on a magazine. I'll just get the Glock magazines. So I think these KCIs retail for 20 bucks. I bought them all the way down to $10. They're pretty cheap and worthless. At the gun shows, you can get factory Glock 9mm magazines all the way down to sometimes 20 bucks. I think the retail is like 30 bucks or something. It's not like an H&K magazine, which is like $50. So really, you should, if you're going to spend 20, 30 bucks on a factory Glock magazine, hey, that's a great deal. Don't worry about it. Don't get tempted with these KCI magazines. They're horrible magazines for not being able to drop free. So anyways, if you have any questions, please email me at info@civiliantacticalweapons.com, and I hope to see you in a future episode.